Once upon a time, deep in the forest, in a house, there lived a woodcutter. He was kind of poor. His wife, very loving, yeah, right, and their two children, Hansel and Gretel. Being that the woodcutter was so poor, he really couldn't afford to feed the entire family. And his wife, being the wonderful woman that she is, decided that the children had to go. She told her husband, hey, we need to get rid of the children. Take them out into the forest, and when we get wood for the fire, we'll make a fire for them and we'll leave them there. And he was like, I really don't think this is a good idea. We can find a way to feed the kids or whatever. She's like, hey, do you want to make me happy? You're going to get rid of these kids. And he was like, all right, baby. We'll do it. We'll get rid of the kids. And, we'll make some more or something. And she's like, no more kids. Okay. Take the kids out to the woods. We'll get rid of them in the morning. It's fine. Well, in the other room, Gretel overheard this. And she said, Hansel, you know what's going on out there? They're trying to get rid of us. I cannot believe this. What are we going to do? He's like, I got a plan. I got you, sister. We got this. We good. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get some shiny stones. And then, in the morning, we're good. What shiny stones going to do? Just trust me. I got this, says the brother. So in the morning, the family gets up. They get ready to go out into the woods. And the brother, Hansel, keeps looking at the house as he's walking away into the woods with the family. The mother's like, why are you looking back? He says, oh, I see a crow on the house and I think that's my pet. That's not your pet, says the mother. And he continues to walk into the woods. But what she doesn't know is that he is leaving shiny stones along the way so that they can find their way back when the parents leave the children out there. So night comes and Hansel and Gretel were both asleep because that's where the parents left them by the fire asleep while they thought they were out chopping wood. They were actually going away. Hansel and Gretel found their way back to the house with the trail of stones that the brother had left, that Hansel had left. So they made it back to the house, and then the father was just overjoyed to know that his children made it back home. Of course, the wife wasn't very happy, and she talked to her husband after the kids went to bed. I can't believe they found their way back. We need to go deeper into the woods, and you take those kids, you leave them out there. Well, honey, isn't there something we can do? We can work this out. We can make this work. No, we can't feed those kids, is what she told the husband. We can't afford to. You're poor. I can't afford to feed those kids. We're going to starve to death. You want to starve to death? No, honey, says the woodcutter. Brings the wife and the kids further along into the forest. But this time, the night before, they locked the door so Hansel couldn't get out. See, he picked up bread this time along the way, thinking if he dropped pieces of bread into the forest, that they would be okay. Well, nightfall came again. Hansel and Gretel woke up to try to get back from the path. And they realized all the bread was gone because all the birds from the forest had came and eaten the breadcrumbs, so they had no trail to follow us back home. And it was kind of scary because they had no place to go. It was cold outside, the fire was dying, and they're walking along in the forest aimlessly. Then they see a house. They see a house made of candy. And they begin to run to the house and eat the roof, which was made of candy, and eat the door that was made of candy, and the windowsill. And they're continuing to eat this house full of candy. And who opens the door? An old lady, blind old lady. She says, children, come in, children. Oh, yes, I love children. Yes, please, come on in. And she tricks them into the cage, or one of them into a cage, and realizes after she feels their wrists, or feels Hansel's wrists, that he's just not fat enough. So he forces Gretel to continue to feed Hansel until he was fat enough to eat. Now, these two, they're pretty smart. They had a plan. So every time from that day forward that the witch would reach inside the cage to feel Hansel's wrist, he gave her a bone to feel. So she thought he wasn't getting any fatter. So she kept beating the sister, beating Gretel, saying, "You feed him more! You feed him more!" So Gretel kept feeding Hansel until she said, "You know what? Forget it. I'm going to eat them regardless. I'll start with the fat one, and then I'll get to the skinny one, you, Gretel. But go start the oven over here." And Gretel was smart. Gretel said, "Well, how do you start this oven?" She said, "You just get over by the oven like this. And you actually get into the oven and check to see if it's warm, just like this here." Well, Gretel was so smart, she waited till the witch actually bent over and the oven was hot. And she kicked the witch into the oven and closed the door and locked it shut. And the witch is like, "Ah!" And then Gretel and Hansel got out, escaped, somehow found their way back home. By that time, the mother died. The father was just overjoyed that his children had somehow found their way back home. Oh, did I also mention that there were gold stones inside the witch's house that they brought home so they had no food problems? Yeah. Then they lived happily ever after. The end.